So I've been away for a month, house sitting down in Dunedin. During that time, I ended up shooting 11 rolls of film. Didn't think my Dunedin photos would be the best that I've ever shot. In fact, with the amount of camera issues I've been having lately, I was prepared for nothing much to come back at all. I was shooting with a lot of expired film, and film that had accidentally gone through its CT machine as well via air travel when it came back home by courier. Through no worse for wear, as it came out pretty well. My first roll was Amber's 800T, a Cinestill-esque film. The first shots on this roll are the day before we leave. It was the Māori New Year, known as Matariki, and I got a few shots of the celebrations on the Wellington waterfront. I really want to come back here next year and take some photos of this event again. We really don't have these kind of opportunities often in Wellington since COVID. Someday I will get a good photo of the Dutch pancake store. I really dig this photo of one of my favourite shots. I really like this art installation as well. So some of my photos on this night got ruined by me dropping my Canon 7 at the airport. The back popped open only for a brief moment and a portion of my roll was damaged. I do want to come back to this point and shoot here, but I can do this on any old night, so I chose to save my film. We arrived in Dunedin around the middle of the day. The weather was nice. We were going to be house sitting for a month. So our first priority was to stock up on food and then take some photos. Dunedin has some nice brick architecture, and this was right next to the supermarket. So we were down in Dunedin to house sit for these 4 cats. Chocho on the left, Dodo the ginger on the left, Bao Bao on the right, and coming into frame is Chin Chin. The next day, we headed into town to stock up on some more groceries and specialty items. I was hoping to take some photos of the shop's signage, but the main street was covered in roadworks. There was this one cool store that had a neon sign that I decided to take a photo of. I hunted for a fried chicken place I was wanting to try, but it was closed. We were hungry, so we got some kai from the other fried chicken place open on the main strip. So yeah, this shot of cells on the Canon 7, I think the fall knocked the film slightly out, so it did not hold on well and kept slipping back for a while. I love that Otago still has great photographical architecture. It is also full of space trash laying around. The weather when we got back home was beautiful. My shot on the Canon 7 was destroyed, but my shot on my Sony came out well. The next day we went out for lunch to this really cute little Japanese restaurant when I got this double exposure shot, which weirdly works probably even better than if the shot hadn't been double exposed. We walked around the city where I took photos on expired Fuji 200, which I shot at box speed, and it all actually came out fine. After that, to burn off some of the food we ate, we walked up Baldwin Street, the world's steepest street. Not as difficult as I thought, or as painful as some of the Wellington staircases, but still a decent wee little hike. I got this photo of the street on my Minolta looking up. It actually came out better than I thought. We got to the top, and then I took a photo from there, looking back down. Next we went to the Botanic Gardens, where I got this shot. Most of the shots I took on the Canon 7 massively overlapped and were useless on this roll. I did get these shots from the outside of the greenhouse that came out okay. I took that same photo again at my partner's request, but the lighting doesn't suit, and I suck at framing people. During this trip, there was a few signs around, and whilst the lighting isn't the best, I do like this photo. Dunedin's greenhouse in its botanic garden is actually quite surprisingly bright inside. I took what I thought would be some really great, pretty photos, but unfortunately these were the most ruined shots from the roll when I dropped my Canon 7, and none of them were salvageable, apart from maybe one or two. There wasn't much sun, but on the clear side of the sky there was this white and green tree that I thought might look cool.
I assume you took photo like here, around here?
Somewhat, yeah. My shot focuses in, but they still good.
A few days later, I went out for a small hike after working from home and got this shot. My last photos from the roll of Fuji C200. I then swapped in some Lomo 400. My partner and I decided to head out to the beach and see if we could take some moody shots. And by moody, I don't mean any weird swings that look freaky at night, but that's for another video. There is this racetrack not far from the house next to the beach that I really want to take some photos on Cinestill 800T in the future at night, because I reckon those could look amazing. I don't mind this shot of Green Island, I just wish the sky was a little bit more clear. We got to the beach where there was a few people and their dogs. Through, I only ended up with this pic, which I kind of like.
Yeah, that's fine.
We've been here before, and I wanted to do something like this pic I took a year or two back that I really like, that has this mood and atmosphere. Whilst walking along the beach, these horses came galloping along, and I got this shot, which I quite dig. And as they raced on past us, I decided to get another shot, for which I got my most painting-like photo I've ever taken. This is one of my favourite photos from the trip. To me, this is why going out more often is going to mean more interesting photos. You only stumble across shots if you allow the chance of it to occur. We continued along the beach, where I got these other 3 photos. down to Mount Blackhead, where I got this shot I kind of like. I think the only thing that makes it not mundane is the surfer. As we walked up the hill, upon looking back, I decided to take this photo. With this photo here, Green Island sitting in the middle made it a better shot. Whilst we were hiking down the hill back to ours, I stopped to get another shot of the beach from up above. We then walked home to hang out with the cats, where I decided to take this photo of Chocho. About 4 days later, I headed into the city to do some training, but before I did, I got some shots around the city on this very cold and grey day. I focused on going for symmetry shots of churches, trying to get them balanced as I possibly could. This shot of St. Joseph's was meh, and this shot is also meh. However, I do like this depressing shot of the brewery, just because the brick and the grey skies are a mood. I also got this shot, which I kind of wish I'd zoomed in a little closer for. I had the wrong film stock here for these neon signs to be shown off. The view from the office was great. I shot at both 1/30th and 1/60, and they both look good, but the slightly wider field of view on the second shot was the better of the two. We then headed out a few days later, and I got a shot of the scrapyard, but it was the wrong time of day and I didn't have a lens cap, so enjoy the bokeh. Also unsure why on a few of the shots on the edges there is some weird discoloration. And a few days after that, we went for a drive. Dunedin really has some of the prettiest coasts in New Zealand, let alone the South Island, and these ones would face the sunrise every morning. Whilst difficult to shoot from the adjacent footpath, this is still a pretty photo. We stopped every once in a while, and I just went from spot to spot looking for the right shot. Just before our trip, I got hold of a 645 back for my RB67, which I had to create this makeshift cutout frame for. There is only one issue with this back, and that it has a bit of a light leak issue, which showed up in almost all the photos I took on this back. I'm not sure about this shot. I think it would have been better on a sunny day, and if I'd taken it from a lower angle, it would have probably turned out the way that I wanted.
It's good. It's really
My very last shot on this roll was of my partner. It's okay, but believe me when I say there is a better photo coming of her. I had another try of shooting the group on the rock, but this time with Ilford's SFX. It's my first time using this stock, and I'm not sure about it, nor am I sure about this photo. My partner did manage to get a cool shot with the SFX, though it would have helped if it was more of a sunny day. I took 2 shots at this point, both on the Minolta with the SFX, but the second photo is more clear and better and more refined. Whilst the weather was not good, I wanted to get a shot of New Zealand's coastline, and I saw a break in the sky and knew that could make the shot look a little less muddy. Unfortunately, this did not matter, as this shot out of all the shots on the roll had the worst light leak. I shot this next photo as there was an interesting person sitting on the beach in red which could stand out. Only one problem. I was shooting black and white. Though I really do like this photo. It to me encapsulates the New Zealand by the beach lifestyle that is unique to us. Now, remember I said I had a better photo of my partner coming up? And yeah, this was so much better. It's both a moody portrait and a landscape with distinctive mountains in the background. I'm not sure which version I like more, this or the second photo I took. You can decide. Though I am starting to lean towards the one on the right. I had an infrared pass filter on this camera, as SFX is infrared sensitive. However, this lens does not fit properly on this camera. We were not the only ones that day out there with a camera. I think this dude had some high-end digital video camera shooting some photos or videos for some surfers. We trailed down to the beach below to see if we could find anything interesting. We came across this spot, and whilst the sun was no longer on the area, against better judgment, I shot this photo, I believe in infrared, which just didn't work out as there was not enough light. We walked around for a bit, and I found this little cave where I took this shot. We went through and ended up on the other side and tried to take a photo, but the light was dimming and we did not feel it was worth it. But it's a pretty beach that I would love to come back to another time. Later on our walk back, whilst my partner was on the phone, I took this shot with the moon in the sky, which I think worked out not too badly. We came across this little bird as well, though I decided not to take a photo of it. We then went for a further drive up to Towery Mouth, where I took this last photo of the day. I liked the angles of the light across the underneath of the bridge, but this photo is still a little dark just because of there not being as much sun in the sky, so therefore there was less light overall. We walked around for a little bit before deciding to head on home, but not before coming across more spade cans, pride of the south, and this possible murder weapon. We then got home to this beautiful sunset, which I wish at the time I still had some Lomo 400. I then got up the next morning for a beautiful sunrise around 8 AM in the morning, as it's winter, which is great, not having to get up so early for a sunrise. The photo didn't end up the best because a little bit of a light leak due to the 645 bat. I then swapped the 360mm lens to the 180mm lens and took this well-timed shot, which was my favourite from the whole batch, mainly due to the lack of light leaks. I am unsure how I managed to mess up the next shot, but it's a beautiful mess up. I managed to overlap two different photos almost perfectly for a cool double exposure. I took one last sunrise photo before heading on my way back home. With this one, I tried to make sure I got a good shot of the reflection, but again, the light leak was definitely an issue. After my stroll on the beach, I decided to go back home, where I came across this spot near the racetrack and was vibing the light at the time. Unfortunately, this photo would not live up to my expectations. Once I'd got it developed, I saw that it was at least one stop underexposed. Later on, as it was a clear, sunny day, I went back to the hill and got an infrared shot I actually like for this trip. I'm not sure if this film is sensitive to infrared as Rolly 400 infrared is, as I shot for 1 second as normal, and to me, it looks a little less bright. After lunch, we went to Turtle Beach, not far from where we were staying, which is a little wee bit of a hike to get down to. I got this shot in infrared. The sun was very bright, but the film stock glows a lot less than Rolly's, so overall, I'm not much of a fan of it. We also took a turn on the turn of the millennium little handy cam that was at the property with us to see if we could get any cool early 2000s digital cameras look, and to see whether that look was actually any good. It would have helped if I'd forgot to update or remove the timestamp, as that clearly is not the correct date. We then continued walking down the path, where I decided to take my final 2 photos of the small peninsula that everyone loves to climb. I would say that the paper cut out we had wasn't fully accurate for framing, but it helped at least. I then changed the back, swapping out the Cinestill 400D for expired Porta 800, and whilst doing so, ran into a lady who was talking to me about the camera and camera film, and informing me that she threw out a bunch of fridged camera film. Such a pity.
It also means I should have black tape with me, because I'm about to pop open the back, and I forgot to fucking bring fresh black tape. Yeah, we got B-roll. Pretty sure we got B-roll, but...
I then decided to take a shot from up on the hill with the infrared, which was okay, apart from the fact that I ended up messing up the horizon line in the shot. Kept walking along the beach, and yeah, I decided to try take another photo with the Handycam, and wow, these just have terrible white balancing issues.
Yeah. Okay, now look.
Continued walking down, and I tried to take any possible infrared shots that caught my eye, as the sun was starting to move, and this was going to be my only opportunity here for a while. I'm not sure if I did like any of my infrared shots from this trip, but if there was possibly going to be one, it'd have to be this shot. As I mentioned earlier, if you want to have a chance to take an interesting photo, you have to go out, and then you'll be able to see interesting things, like this guy sitting on the rock with the moon in the background. Unfortunately, this film is a little expired, so the moon did not come out well. But again, as with this black and white shot, you just have to make the most of it. The more I look at this infrared film stock, the more I think it just doesn't hit the same as the Rolly. I tried taking 2 more photos of the coast, but due to the film being less sensitive and the time of day, these did not come out well. So yeah, that photo didn't come out, but this one I took 10 minutes later of the sheep up the hill in infrared did, and might be the second best photo from the roll. Seeing as the weather was still good, we decided to go down to St. Clair's Beach, which was about a 20-minute drive, which was nice, but a bit featureless. I still ended up taking the shot. This place would be nice to wake up to in the morning, and possibly even at night. I decided that I felt like taking this shot on the Canon 7. There was this Art Deco building that I like, and I'm okay with how this shot turned out. My partner also took this shot of me on my Canon 7. There was this restaurant which had a great facade, and I decided to get 2 photos of it. As I mentioned, there are really cool signs around in Dunedin, and I quite like this one. I think this photo here might be the better framed of the two. Whilst heading home, I really liked the way the light was hitting this building, so I decided to take a shot. I think my framing was a little off, but overall I'm happy with this trip. So far I've got some of my best photos I feel that I've ever taken were on this trip. Sure, I had some average or terrible photos, but that's not how I measure my photography. I always look at what I want to show, is what I would be happy to achieve. This is what keeps me going and motivated. And I will be showing you even more photos that I'm happy to have taken on my part 2 video. Till then, it's been real, guys. And to finish this video off, here's some of the video footage that we had of the cats.